Happy Friday, everyone, and welcome to another MLS Classics Remix. This is where we watch the best games in Major League Soccer history, but we do it in a different way with some of the people that were there, and we've got an incredible group here today. Let's start with Pa Modou Kah, longtime MLS defender, Norwegian international, the Gambian god himself, current head coach of Pacific FC up in the Canadian Premier League. Pa, you excited to watch this one?
Oh, man, I'm looking forward to it, man. And I'm very glad that you guys have me here. So looking forward to it.
We're looking forward to you saying Seattle got lucky for the next 2 hours. We're waiting for it. And on the other side, in the other corner, we've got one of the great goal scorers in MLS history, over 75 goals, including for the Seattle Sounders at time. So excited about that he jumped out of his stream there. We've got Kenny Cooper alongside us as well. Kenny, you looking forward to this? You can say no. That's fair as well, Kenny. Can you hear me?
Oh, come on. You know how strikers are. They will go just in and out. Now he's being quiet over there.
I'm here. Sorry, I missed my intro. I hope it was a good one, David.
It was a great one. I talked about how you were the cleanest finisher in MLS history and one of the great goal scorers of all time.
Wow, well, thanks for that. Thanks for having me, guys. This was an awesome game, and it was the first of some epic battles that we had that year.
Cascadia Cup at its finest. With his first, you got lucky of the day. And the last person, of course, MLSsoccer.com superstar, best 11, potential MVP right now, Kalen Carr. Kalen, what do you remember about this game?
Well, to be honest, I rewatched like all of the matches between these sides over the course of this season. Not the entire matches, sorry. The YouTube versions. And this one was by far the craziest. But the entire season, they went back and forth like this. It was kind of a wild season between these two clubs. And so, yeah, I'm just excited. I didn't lose this one. I've like been on streams of every MLS Cup that I've lost at this point. So I know I can't lose today. And we also have two of the nicest guys in MLS history.
Two legends.
So we'll see if we can turn them into rivals again and get them to talk a little trash to each other.
Let's take a look at these starting lineups. April 5th, 2014. Let's take you back to it. Cascadia Cup in Portland. Kenny, this is the Seattle lineup that Ziggy rolls out there. This is a stacked lineup.
Yeah, we had a ton of talent that year, and for me, it was an awesome opportunity to line up with Oba and Clint. And those two superstars were just magic together. And so this was a special game to line up alongside them and, all these other guys, Chad, Steph. I mean, we had such a strong team and a strong bench too. This was a lineup that I felt fortunate to be a part of, because by the end of the season, I wasn't sure I'd even be in the squad. So it was great to start this game.
And for you, Pa, on the flip side, this is the group you guys had together trying to stop what was that Kenny, Oba, Deuce front three.
Yeah, no, obviously, every time you go against a team like Seattle, it's a battle, especially being a Cascadia battle and rivalry, it's tough. But we had confidence in us and our team prior to the year before that we knocked them out of the playoffs. So, but just to put it out there, but I think in this game we were missing like two key players in terms of Donovan Ricketts and Rodney Wallace. Jack Dewsbury, obviously we had Albert Powell in this game, who also is a great fullback. So other than that, we were supposed to win the game.
So Portland, as you said, 2013 knocked Seattle out of the playoffs in the Western Conference semifinals. Seattle rolling into 2014 with that man Clint Dempsey up top. Kenny, there was a lot of expectations for Clint because of the way 2013 had gone. Big signing, didn't score the goals all the time. You came in coming from Portland as well, so you know both sides of this rivalry, and I assume you knew how big this game would be. But what was your thought coming in as a Seattle player now?
Yeah, no, I mean, certainly a huge game for both clubs, and had a lot of friends in Portland, a lot of respect for the club too, and just the rivalry is so big, high energy, and as you said with Clint, high expectations on him, but man, did he live up to him in this game and so many others that year. I remember, when I joined the club, I was just in awe of his quality, not just in the games, but in training sessions. It's like he could score at will, and showed his quality in this game, obviously.
Was it strange playing for both clubs? I mean, you see it across world football, but it is rare. Where I was looking back on Sky Sports earlier today, and they were talking about Adebayor and how he played for both clubs, Tottenham and Arsenal and Gallus as well. How did that happen? And was that a strange feeling to play for both sides of this rivalry?
Yeah, it is strange. It is strange because, when I was in Portland, I mean, I absolutely loved my time there. I was part of their inaugural season, so you felt like you were, really, part of just starting something big and special there, and so I had a lot of love for the club, and like I said, even going into this game, being on the other side of the rivalry, the respect was still certainly there, and to play in the rivalry was just it's just like it. Just again, the energy of it, the fans for both sides, there before the game starts, before you're even rolling up in the bus. And
offside, man. It's an offside goal. With the new rules, it's offside. He's already offside.
Paul's got VAR already out.
We need VAR.
That was one of my best goals.
That's a proper striker's poke in, man. Look at that.
Hey, the funny thing is, looking back on this.
That's on for sure.
Thanks.
Come on, Kenny, don't let him
with the
disrespect
assist.
you like that.
That's an offside, man.
Oh, come
Offside. Look, he's
I
offside.
stole that from Jaleel.
Look at Valeri standing on the line. Pa, come on, man.
Valerie was doing a pillow. Just standing.
Hey, that's
on
as a striker, that's the dream start as a striker.
Oh,
get
yeah.
one
I was
early
like-
on. That's it. It really relaxes you to just gets you into the game, and this game was early on in the season too, so that was a an important one for me. And at the time, I'm not sure I even knew it was my goal. It was so close to the line. I'm not sure I knew if I had actually crossed the line, and I'm not sure Jaleel did either. Running off celebrating like he scored.
Oh, he took
Kenny,
it.
come on, keep it real. I know you're one of the nicest guys ever, but nothing about scoring a first-minute goal or second-minute goal in a derby like this makes you want to go to the sideline, take your shirt off, just go wild. Like, come on, man.
No, you definitely want to, man. Just I'm feeling the energy here
You know what?
watching it. This makes me miss it so much.
I was really expecting you to celebrate, even though you play for Portland, to be honest. So,
Kenny, did you think
No,
about it?
I can't.
Did you talk about it with anyone? Like, will I, won't I celebrate?
I've been around the league, played for a bunch of different clubs, so I played against former teams a lot of times, and that's just not something that I ever, wanted to do. I just always had too much respect for the clubs I played for and good history, and so it was something I was always conscious of before a game.
you guys didn't come to play. But that was their game plan all along. Every time we played them, it was like either was Alonso yakking on Valerie or yakking on Nagby all the time. It was. But for us in this game, it was really like, could we make sure that Alonso was not getting into the game and try to feed the front two, you and Clint and Oba. It was like, I think it was this year that they both were healthy, right? They were really, really healthy to play. Because in 2013, I mean, we didn't see the best of them, obviously.
Yeah, they were healthy, but what was interesting is we lost Clint and DeAndre obviously to the World Cup. So we're touching on just the deep squad we had, but we had to have a deep squad that year, especially because they were away for so much of the season.
Yeah.
What do you
Jaleel
think,
did try
Bob?
to take
Was
that
it
one.
onside? See you there?
No, he stole the goal. Well done. That's a proper tap in. That's a striker's tap in, man. You can never take it away from them. But it was incredible, man. I'm like, for me watching this game, I really enjoyed the battles. Like the battles it was a truly a derby, like derby that you kind of play in Europe, you know, because you feel it in the atmosphere, whether it's home or away. Like everybody's up for it, and I was also happy that the referees could allow a little bit at the time that there was no VAR, especially for us as defenders.
There's not a lot of time to rest when it's Oba, Deuce, and Kenny up top.
Oh man, I tell you, like there's some games as a defender, like you feel like, you know what, okay, today's gonna be an easy game. But when you have quality on top like those threes, and they were all moving, and they're all, you're like, okay, this is gonna be a long game. Especially after they score after 2 minutes, you're like, all right, we're gonna be prepared for a very long game. But yeah, but it's always nice.
Kenny, for you,
I mean,
after you left Portland, did you make an effort to go to Seattle? Did you want to stay in the area, part of this Cascadia group? Pa, for you as well. You went to Vancouver after leaving Portland.
Yeah, I left, but for me it was still great to be part of the Cascadia rival, because I mean, after leaving Portland, you're like, where do you want to actually go? And staying on the West Coast was actually what we wanted as a family. But being part of the Cascadia rival for me was one of the greatest things I've been part of, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel the same. For me, I went from Portland to New York, back to Dallas, and then Seattle. But prior to going to Seattle, you know, my wife will tell you Portland was her favorite city. We just love the Pacific Northwest, love the soccer culture, just the game day experience of having so many people there. You know, I remember early days in the league. You know, I think a lot of players want to go to Europe to get this, you know, experience of, you know, just the fan energy, the soccer culture, and you know, by the time these two teams came in the league, I mean, just the atmospheres, you know, I think just we're right up there with some of the best in Europe. And so I definitely, even before I got to Portland, I remember, you know, watching a video on the club, you know, about the fans, and you could feel that energy before we even stepped foot in the city. And it was so exciting to go there and to be a part of that. So I was fortunate. I had 2 opportunities to play, you know, in this rivalry. So I was able to play a bunch of these games. And they were special. They were definitely unique.
I'll take this off script a bit, but I remember playing a game with the Fire.
Kalen, hang on one
Seattle,
second.
like early.
Go on, Chara. There it is. Go on.
Chara just mic dropped on you.
This game's got a lot of goals, man.
Yeah.
You can't tell a story.
No,
man.
That's what Diego Chara does, right? Long range goals. That's what he's known for.
Yeah, once in a bit.
Are you okay there, Pop?
What
happened?
did you do there? Did he
No,
hit
man.
you up?
No, what happened is
You just couldn't believe.
Celebrated too hard, man.
Yeah,
Couldn't
that
believe
too.
y'all scored on us.
No, but what happened was, while I was trying to hold Chara, Will Johnson just jumped on me and just knocked me down. I just went straight up. I'm like, oh, no, Will got me. Oh, that was a great strike. But the crazy thing about Chara is he has it in him, and I think for me that was some of the things that people really underestimated of him was he was somebody who could drive the ball forward, and he's somebody that was clinical when he arrived in the box. But because of all the other work that he was doing, the dirty work, so people really didn't realize how of a quality player he was as well. Like, he made my job easy. I was happy. I was like, listen, all I needed to do was tell Chara where to go, so I could just sit back and do nothing. That was basically all I did.
Well, the way he
Probably
sniffs that
two-
one out too. I mean, we see him more in a deep lying position here, but now we have in this match, I believe Nagby's still playing as a winger, right?
Yeah, left winger.
Okay.
Another underestimated player.
Ooh, Kenny. Okay.
Kenny, you caught all of that one.
That's not an easy one either because it's bouncing like that.
Yeah, those are painful when they don't go in. and you see just this is so back and forth. But before you pick your head up, they're coming back down.
I mean, the first 10, 15 minutes was
10-10.
amazing.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it would have been like playing a FIFA game.
I mean, Powell sprays a beautiful ball, and then Nagby flips the guy, and that was.
Hey, this game feels like, just watching it, it feels like you're watching a 7-a-side, small-sided game. The way it's just box to box, chance after chance.
Well, Portland's pitch is kind of like that, though. It does feel tighter than others.
Kenny, that's a good football hit right there on Will Johnson.
That's through the smoke.
Yeah.
Okay.
God,
jeez. Did he touch that? Did Steph touch that?
It seems like it. But that's something I wish Nagby could still do, man.
So, Pa, you played with him early on, right? And so, this is probably his second or third. This is probably his third year in MLS. Right?
Yeah, it's probably his third year. Yeah, it was his third year.
But these were the moments where he was still playing as a winger, and that's kind of what people were expecting from him. Could you tell that he was going to be better in the midfield, or what was it like playing with him kind of early on in his career?
Oh, man. I mean, for me, he's one of the most underrated players. And as soon as I lay eyes on him, I'm like, bro, you got to go to Europe. I'm like, you got to go. Because that's how gifted he is. But he's such a humble character, but his quality is unbelievable. I mean, Nagby can do anything you want him to do.
Yeah.
Serious.
I always thought he was the type of guy you could put him in any team. You could put him at Arsenal. You could put him anywhere, and he would be better around better players.
Oh, it would be incredible. And for me, watching him and seeing him, I was like, come on, man. I'm like, you have to go. So we played against Dallas that year in the Cup, and we were down 1-0, and we came in halftime, and Caleb was getting at him a little bit, and I could tell that he was getting furious. But, he's always so quiet, so you could tell. But after a while, if you know Darlington, you kind of sense, right? And we went back into second half. I mean, he just turned into a beast. I remember he dribbled past 4 players and just put it in the back of the net. And I'm like, okay. That was him. At the same easygoing, don't stress, don't do anything. But one of the most gifted players, obviously, that I've seen in MLS by far.
So he was a rookie my year in Portland, and I remembered I was so eager to play with him because he wasn't starting all the games at first. And
can't tell a story, Kenny.
Diego.
That's a great finish.
That is a ridiculous
They ruined
finish.
a good start to the game.
Oh man, but that was also one of his greatest strengths, like to find space and just release a shot. Valerie, that was incredible. It was like unbelievable.
San Diego.
Just look at his movement. It's like,
What was his first year in the league?
that was 2013.
Yeah.
2013.
He joined the year before, and Portland
Right
was
before,
first in the West that year, and obviously beat Seattle in the playoffs.
Amazing.
Yeah. What? Say it again, David. What did you say?
He joined in 2013, and then you joined in 2013 as well, and then you beat Seattle in the playoffs.
Thank you.
There you go.
I just wanted to put it out there.
What's amazing about this rivalry for everything is Seattle comes in the league and sets a standard. Portland comes in to match it. Portland gets first in the West. Seattle wins the Supporters' Shield the next year. So then Portland wins MLS Cup. So then Seattle wins MLS Cup the next year. It's like the two clubs continue to push each other higher and higher.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I mean, I think if you look on paper, I would probably say this Seattle team is the stronger side. But
What?
Portland, from the outside, but I'm saying Portland, I mean, obviously at home, that makes a big difference in these, especially in these rivalry matches, but Portland, I feel like you guys had the much better to play early on. Like, you haven't seen a ton from Clint or Oba yet as far as getting involved.
Because I had them in my pocket. I'm just saying.
They're coming. They're coming. Watch out, Clint's coming. I was saying before this started that, these games it didn't matter if you had your strongest lineup or your weakest lineup out there. You knew it was going to be such a battle. And you know, we had a very, very strong lineup for this game. But it's man, it's just amazing just how back and forth.
So you guys, we've got people in the comment section. We've got fans on YouTube and Facebook asking questions. So I'll throw one at you every once in a while. So make sure you get in the comment section. Let us know what you think. What do you want to ask Pa, Kenny, Kalen? The big one we've gotten so far, the big debate right now, is all time for these two in MLS. Which was the best team? Which was the best group? A lot of Seattle fans are saying this was the best Seattle team of all time. What's your two thoughts?
Me as a competitor, I think this one was probably their best squad. It was the best that I faced.
And what about for Portland?
For Portland was 2013. I mean, 2013 was like we had everything. It was like a brotherhood. We had all different type of characters. We had proper players, and it was a shame that we didn't win it. Because, I mean, I still talk to most of the guys, and they all refer back to the 2013 group. It was just an amazing group, to be honest. And we did everything together.
Kenny, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I want to tell you this was the strongest Seattle side ever because I was in it, but I can't. I think you have to go with the years that they won the, MLS Cups, and the franchise has been strong for many years, and we were certainly super talented this year. We had a really, really deep squad, but I don't think that you can say it was any stronger than the teams that actually won MLS Cup.
Kalen, what do you think?
It's tough because I played against those early Portland teams, and they were tough. Ton of talent, but I felt like they wanted to. There was just so much energy, especially when you played at Portland, that they were going to either win a game 4-0 or be happy to play 4-4. Like it was just mayhem to start, partly because of the energy of the crowd. So, and then I think for Seattle, you look at these teams and to watch Clint and Oba together and the way they work together was something I think if you look at the top strikers and partnerships in MLS history, it's kind of like a Dwight York, Andy Cole, in other countries or contexts, or Bergkamp and Henry. And I think in MLS, if you look at like Robbie Keane and Landon Donovan, but I think Oba and Clint, the way they moved together and combined was something. Maybe Jaime Moreno and Diaz Arce, some of these guys, some of the best soccer you've seen as a partnership goes. But I don't think this game really suits the Sounders as we've come to know them, as far as playing in these wide open end-to-end matches like the Timbers or at least at this phase of things. And both sides, as a clubs, have kind of actually shrunk it down a little bit and have played less of these types of matches, with a few wild ones notwithstanding. So, but I think the new Sounders teams have been incredible, partly because they may not have the inventiveness always that they had going forward, but just impossible to break down now.
Come on, Kenny, I didn't know that you dived.
That was a bad foul.
Come on, man, that's a dive.
Just to touch on Clinton Oba, I mean, they shared a mind. It was unreal. They were just on the same wavelength. Just understood each other so well. I mean, it's like they always knew just the little tricks and flicks, that the combinations that they would do. I was saying in the intro that by the end of the season, I was I didn't know towards the end of the year if I'd even be in the squad. We had such a strong squad, and especially up top, when they were available and there, you knew they'd play together. And so I was always so open-minded to play and eager to play other roles within the team, out wide, and just to get on the field. I mean, those two, you just knew that they were going to play with each other, and they were just dynamite. And You wanted to be on the field with them, and so again, for me, this was such a great opportunity to start a game with them, and they were just so special, man. Those two guys.
I still contend
Just having one of
Oba
them
at
on the
his peak.
field.
Oba at his peak may have been the best performing MLS player we've ever seen.
Oh yeah.
He had
Kenny,
that-
you've talked about you've been the main man for a bunch of your teams and scored, all the goals and led in a lot of ways, but then also have had to play with some pretty big figures in MLS too. How did you navigate those times where you were maybe needed for goals always, or you were the main man, but also times where maybe you had to switch positions or play a different role for a team?
No, I think I was fortunate to play with some superstars, with Thierry in New York, and I always felt confident and capable out there, regardless of who I was playing with or what role I was in. I was always comfortable in different roles, and especially in this team, like I said, I think I knew my opportunity would be in a different role. So I was always, just open-minded to playing different positions to be out in the field. And I felt confident too that I could score goals from out wide as well, because you could still get in good positions. But no, I mean, to have one of those guys in your team, they're such game changers. It is, makes any team strong, but to have two of them at the same time. And I felt as well, just that, like, well, I felt if I could be out there with them, that I could also contribute to their great attack. But there's no doubt that the two of them were a combo, like you said, Dwight York, Andy Cole. They were like one mind.
Credit to you for doing that, Pa. You're a manager now. It's not often that a number 9 who's scored a ton of goals and been on the books at Man United and elsewhere will sacrifice or play a different role for the team, so, or has the ability to.
No, I mean, but like you said, that speaks the true character of him as well, because he understood that for him to be playing, he just need to get on the team, and honestly, they were by far the two of the best strikers at the time. Oh,
They're about to show it.
Here it comes.
Hey!
Why didn't he pass to me there?
Nah, it's and I think for me,
But that's
think
it. He knows
actually-
exactly where he is, right in the
Oh,
zone.
man.
The
Exactly.
turnover,
Yeah.
give it away.
Yeah.
You guys are a bit stretched, but he knows.
Oh,
he
we were
doesn't even
stretched.
really have to look. Watch, he just takes a touch. He quick glance, right there.
Exactly.
No, that,
Kenny, you're
Good
ready for that
finish.
rebound. I see you.
I was waiting for another tap
it was
right
ready.
there.
like a real
I was
striker.
never gonna be.
I was ready for another, just for him to lay that right across.
But this one was a gifted goal, though. This one was a gifted goal from us. But I think actually this game truly also gave Clint the confidence that he needed. Because coming from an injury-riddled season in 2013, being questioned, and I think this game actually truly helped him a lot in his ways, to settle in MLS. To be fair.
This was definitely his first big Seattle moment.
Yeah.
Besides
Exactly.
taking off the sweatshirt at halftime and showing that he was coming, and
Yeah.
people spying him in the airport and him lying to fans. It was him coming to MLS was one of those moments, and these two clubs have had a lot of them, of like, oh, this league's changed. And that was the first time MLS fans had tracked planes to see when people were flying from what city to the other to prove that Clint Dempsey was coming to MLS.
Because was he supposed to come to us? I just heard rumors. I'm just saying that it was maybe in Portland or Seattle.
Really?
There was rumors all over the place. But
Yeah.
I think playing in World Cup, they played a World Cup qualifier or a Gold Cup game in Seattle, and that's when he kind of said, I want to be a part of this.
Okay.
Better fishing.
No, I
Taylor,
mean,
you the fishing expert?
I have no idea, to be honest. So I've heard.
I mean,
This was. Do you remember, Bob, what game this was in the season?
Yeah, I think this was like for us. I remember like the first couple of games we tied. We tied home against Philly. We tied home against Chicago, and I think we went away. But I think for us, the early games were just we were just tying games, and I think this one for us would have been the momentum for us in the season because we ended up not making the playoff that year, and we went back and looked at some of the games, and yeah, we gave away a lot of points, especially in this game. I think this game really took a hit on us. This game was such a... We would have meant a lot for us to win that game, to be honest, because I think afterwards a doubt kind of crept in a little bit because we had a little poor beginning of the season, to be honest.
Yeah, you guys were 0-2-2 coming into this game.
Yeah.
2 ties, 2 losses. Obviously
Exactly.
coming off first place in 2013.
Yeah.
Coming into 2014,
And
Pa, was there an expectation you were going to build on 2013? Did you guys think you were MLS Cup favorites?
Oh yeah. I mean, seeing what we did and more or less keeping the same players, we truly had this feeling that okay, we're going to build on prior years what we had and keep it with some new players coming in like Paparato. And as we know, coming into a new league where it's a language barrier and different style of playing, it takes time to adjust. And sometimes it takes 5-6 months, and that's half of your season in MLS. So, and I think that kind of didn't help us, as well as having a lot of injuries on key players that year. We had Donovan Ricketts out for this game. We had Rodney Wallace out, so we did miss a couple of key players, and we were not always fit, so we didn't have the same chemistry that we had the year prior. And I think that showed. That really showed. And I think part of it as well as, even though we had great depth at this year, Caleb as a coach was somebody that he didn't rotate that much. So he was kind of always trying to keep the same 11, but the rest of the players, they knew what they needed to do when called upon, but he didn't rotate that much. Yeah, it was basically two to three players that he would rotate, but the rest remained the same. So.
He had a lot
Not
of
like
guys
Pacific
in his team
FC,
that-
man.
He had a lot of guys that he had coached in college, right, with this group.
Oh yeah.
How
That
many players played for him at school?
Oh man, I just say everybody. That was Akron United. That was Akron United. I mean, basically, I think there was like 6-7 players.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Pa, you ever been to Akron,
It is,
Ohio?
No, but I've been to Cincinnati.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
that's
lived
true. I'd say Portland's a lot
was in
better.
Cincinnati. Oh yeah, far better. No, but honestly, it's Portland. I mean, for me, what really got me was you heard about MLS, but you never experienced it. And for me to be able to come to Portland and when I heard the national anthem the first time I watched the game, seriously, I just turned over to my wife. I got goosebumps, and I'm like, yeah, this is the way to be. This is the place that you want to play football in, because the way they sing the national anthem was amazing. And until this day, it still gets me. It's just some of the few things that I miss. Look at this. See? There you go. Come on, Will. Get on it. Hey, but honestly, this is what the game did to you. Because just like Kenny said, when you came into this game, you knew that it was going to be a battle. It didn't matter what, and it was about getting on each other's nerve, the little talking, trash talking every time. Because
I don't think for
You guys,
Will it would take much.
Yeah.
oh no, no, that's true.
And you can't disrespect Gonzalo Pineda. That is a midfield
No.
god. He is a maestro.
Oh, he's unbelievable player. But that's what I mean. Like the quality of when you think about it of these players that actually played for both teams, it was pure share of quality, and it was always good to be on the pitch, honestly, because there
You
were
guys have
times
got
that
some- Ooh, sorry.
Go on.
No, you go.
No, what I was about to say, it was just cool that sometimes you just pinch yourself and say, wow, you playing against these guys, and it's a nice game, you know. So
I remember playing at Portland, and it was the only stadium I'd been to at that point where you start you'd get to the ground about an hour and a half ahead of time, and they make you walk from the bus across the center of the pitch. There's not like a direct route to the locker rooms, at least at the time. But all of the Timbers Army would be in there like an hour and a half ahead of the time, not because it was like a special occasion or anything. They would just be there waiting for you. And it was intimidating because you'd be like, oh man, but awesome. You were just like, we're here, and like it's about to fill up.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you would sense that the morning of the game. We live downtown, and you would just feel the club everywhere. You know, see the shirts, see fans everywhere. The whole city was, you know, behind you, and just such an amazing energy and love for the team.
Seattle the same. You go on a team walk, you
For
go around
sure.
Seattle, you see the same thing.
For sure.
I remember going out to a sushi restaurant a couple nights before the game and overhearing a conversation about of like a group of girls that were sitting there being like, one of them was like, oh yeah, I met this backup goalkeeper. I won't say the year because I don't want to call anybody out, but but I just remember being at that point in life. Yeah, I just remember being at that point in life and being like, oh man, Seattle has really made it. Like people are talking about the backup keeper as like a thing. So I'm like, man, how do I get to this team?
Kenny, I'm interested because you joined the expansion year, coming back from Europe. What was the pitch?
Oh.
Like they didn't have an MLS team. You know, Pa got.
Come on,
Come
Pa.
on. Well, I just
Pa, you
want the
gotta
ball.
respect.
It's a 50-50. It's a 50-50 ball. Look.
Let's see.
Oh!
Oh, that's a bit
National
high.
red card.
That's a bit high, to be fair.
Nah, that's a red. In today's VAR game is a red.
I was watching the
today's-
remix the other day
Oh
of
my God.
what was the game with I guess 2004 with Taylor Twellman and Aleko Eskandarian, and there was like 5 red cards in the first minute of the match. That wouldn't even been a yellow in 2004. So
Oh man.
you were hard done.
So Kenny, I was going to say, what was the pitch? Because Pa said he got brought to an MLS game. He heard the anthem. He heard the experience. You hadn't really seen it yet at an MLS level. What was the idea of what they were trying to sell you?
Yeah, well, you know, I touched on it before we had even gotten there. You could feel the energy just from watching a video of Timber, you know, seeing Timbers Army there. I mean, it was just the passion was just amazing, and energy so high, and you know, I couldn't wait to come be a part of it. And I was coming from Germany. I was actually I had a broken leg the season before I came in, and so I was playing with 1860 Munich in the second Bundesliga over there. I'd broken my leg in preseason. I got healthy. I want to say maybe right before Christmas, and then was able to come over and be a part of the preseason here. And I think that was important for me to make the move before the season started to actually, you know, get integrated with the team. And you know, we were all of us were in the same boat. New, you know, just there are so many new players to the city, to the club, and I think just having that dynamic just creates this camaraderie and closeness, just helping, you know, support each other, and you know, everyone's looking to get settled, and you're all doing it together. But we had an awesome group of guys, and you know, you knew that you were part of something that was important to the city, and I think, you know, there's just so much pride that you would have wearing that jersey, and you know, just knowing that it just meant so much to people. And the club, I mean, Timbers had such a long history that I was so aware of, just because my father had played in the NASL. So, you know, the club has such a rich history. I think we're, you know, eager to get into the league, and it was just the whole year, you know, it was just like this amazing, you know, it was just this amazing pulse that you would feel all the time. And it was for me. It wasn't my most prolific season, but I still look back and with just so many fond memories, and I just loved it. I still have two logs, that I've held on to that are very, very special to me and my family. And
you scored the first goal ever, right?
Yeah, I did in Colorado, and it was awesome to be a part of something again that you just knew was so important to so many people.
That's cool.
Pa, do you have logs anywhere?
Yeah, I got one. When we played Dallas at home, we had 3 red cards in this game. That was when Cascadia was fighting with the linesman and and all of that. Yeah,
Take us through it, man. How'd you score?
Just a proper striker finish. It was like the 94th minute. I remember 94th minute we needed a goal. We were 2-1 down, and it was actually a miss hit by Maxi Urruti, and I chested down and put in far corner. So cool as a cucumber, you might say, but yeah,
What do you do with a log? You gotta carry it home that night? What do you do?
Yeah. For me, I left it in the locker room and then made it because I wanted to have the game on it and the minute I score, so that later on I will put it in my trophy room. So they had it done for me. So it's with me. So we put it up
you
anywhere we go.
You just bring it to practice every once in a while for Pacific FC to know. Hey,
nah, it's too heavy.
I've been there.
Wait, so they what do they do? They engrave it, or they write on it? Or?
Yeah, they engrave it.
They engrave
They
it?
did engrave it for me, yeah. Yeah, mine is engraved, buddy. I got it engraved.
I may have to.
You should yours, man. You scored the first goal.
Send a backseat, they'll engrave something for me.
It was Joey.
Gold?
Mine aren't
engraved.
And he's FedExing his logs across the country to Portland.
Yeah, I'm going
Yeah, you have to, man. I did. I took it to one of the groundskeeper at the time, and he knew somebody who could do it for me. So I brought it in, and he did it for me.
It's Portland, dude. There's 100 people that could do that for you. Anybody
Oh,
can do
100.
Hey,
It's a soldering pen. Everyone walks around Portland with a soldering pen, just putting stuff on wood.
We've moved so many times since then, and those logs that we have always make the trips.
This is an incredible save, by the way.
It's a free kick to start with. Kenny was holding me.
And
the referee don't blow.
Not an easy header either, Chad. I mean, this
Oh,
ball was lofted. It's just
he
an
was so
alley-oop,
good in the air.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
I mean, it was so difficult to
Look at
mark
this
on
save,
set
though.
pieces, Chad.
that's a great save.
That's a great save.
And that was a goalkeeper who was also in Seattle, Andrew Weber. Weber, he was also a backup goalkeeper in Seattle. He came that year.
Yeah.
And
Hey, Dave, do you know how many players play for both clubs? Yeah, that's
Ooh.
statistic.
I don't
Ooh,
have
I
it.
like this trivia.
Do you
Come
know?
on, Goss.
I
Are
don't
you
know.
asking?
I'm trying to think.
What?
I don't think there's a lot.
No, Zakwani,
No, there's a lot.
Yeah.
Zakwani.
Yeah.
Andrew Weber,
Yeah.
Weber, the backup goalkeeper.
Kenny Cooper.
Roger
Kenny
Levesque.
Cooper,
Yeah.
Roger
Rod-
Levesque.
Was Roger Levesque pre-MLS days, though?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he didn't play. He definitely didn't play for Portland since MLS. But I think he went on loan
Man.
there or something.
Kenny really showing off that I did not do my research on that one.
So we got 4.
Four.
At least
Kenny,
I got 4.
Kenny, you're in Dallas now. When you have people over, and do people see the log and ask you what's the deal? Just maybe non-MLS people.
Well, we don't have it upstairs. We do have this. We do have this upstairs.
What's that?
Can you see this?
It looks like a
We all got
skateboard.
this. We all got the skateboard.
That's very Portland.
Wait, you guys, time out.
That's
Kenny,
awesome.
one of the people who played, but it was in the USL days, is a guy that we were talking about when you first got on earlier, who's now is an incredible host at Major League Soccer, but is not Kalen Carr.
Stephen Keel?
Yep.
He
Cute.
played for Seattle too.
Yeah. That's
Oh,
what it
he
says.
did. He told me this actually the other day. It was like a 2-month stint or something like that.
Yeah, he was on loan from the
never knew
Rapids
that.
to USL.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So
Never
there
knew
you go.
that
And then
about
the
roommate.
other one there's two more that no one got. I'll give you a clue. One's a center mid that ended up playing at some point in his career with Kalen Carr. And the other one is one of the great Harvard soccer players.
Oh, Adam Moffat.
Yep, there you go.
Adam Moffat.
Pandu.
Oh, and what? That's a good one. What was the other one? The other clue?
Harvard soccer legend.
Oh,
The original Deuce.
Fusito?
Yep, Mike Fusito.
Mike Fusito.
Ah, Mike Fusito,
I knew
indeed.
that.
There you go, Kenny. I had an answer for you.
Yeah, it's a handful of us.
Yeah. Don't ask me how many have scored against the two, though. I don't have an answer for that.
I bet Moffat's got a couple bangers in there.
Speaking of this, we had some fans who had a question for you guys, which is, if you were putting together a best 11 that was all-time Seattle and Portland players in one, who would be your first three picks?
Oof.
Oh, wow.
My first three picks? I mean, that would be... It's a tough one, but I will go... In the same side or just the best three players?
You're putting together one team. No, you can't have, like, two goalkeepers, you know? This is a best
If you
11.
put Ladero and Valeri together, right?
Yeah, I
So-
mean, they'd make it work, right?
I mean, the best 11, I'll put Donovan Ricketts in goal for sure.
There you go.
I would have the Black Spider in
That's
there.
a center back answer, taking a goalkeeper.
Goalkeeper first.
Hey, but that's what you start with, man. And the
No,
strikers,
You
obviously.
don't start in the back. You start up front.
I'm
No, I
starting
start at the back.
I'm starting at the back, too. Chad
You
Marshall.
always-
Chad
come
Marshall's
on,
my
man.
First pick.
You always
Chad
give the
Marshall
team from
first
the-
pick.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would go with.
Absolutely.
Honestly, I would go with me. I would go with Darlington Nagby, Obafemi, and Dempsey.
It's pretty solid first three.
Yeah.
Kenny,
strong.
do you think Chad is the best center back in MLS history?
I do. Yep. I do.
Outside of Pamodoka, obviously.
No, but
Yeah, of
honestly, he's great. He's great. I mean, Chad, for me, I have a lot of respect for him. I truly enjoy watching him play.
Okay. Another trivia. How many times has he won Defender of the Year? Is it 3?
3 times.
3 times? I mean,
I
we
mean-
need to name the trophy after him. We were talking about that yesterday.
I played against
Not a
Chad
bad
in
idea.
college. And in
I mean,
MLS, it was a nightmare every time.
Would you say he's the best defender you come against, Caleb?
Oh yeah, because he was impossible in the air, right? I mean, there was
Yeah,
never
yeah.
you had no chance. But he was also good on the turn. I mean, I know later on he had some knee issues, but he never really got exposed, and it was the
Yeah.
type he was quick.
He was quick. He was
He was
quick.
quick.
Yeah.
He had long legs. Just when you thought you were by him, he would often be able to stretch out and get something on it, clear it out. It was
Very comfortable on the ball. Great range of passing.
yeah.
Yeah.
He
Read the
had
game.
every quality and a goal scoring threat too. I mean, I think that's an awesome
Yeah.
quality for
For center back.
Yeah, for center back, any defender.
Well, that college,
But-
that Stanford team had Roger Levesque, Taylor Graham, Chad Marshall, and Todd Donovan. So it's like a lot of guys that ended up playing.
In MLS.
Yeah, in MLS and Pacific Northwest, especially Sounders. So
But question for you guys:
what-
how come he never got more caps for the national team? Chad Marshall.
good question.
He,
Good
I mean,
question.
what?
I
First of
wonder
all,
myself.
before we say that,
definitely had
Sam
injuries,
Hazelton in the
right?
comment
Injuries.
section said
Yeah.
Kalen Carr deserved to have more USMNT caps like 5 minutes ago. So now's a good
Is that
time
my
for me to
mom?
bring that up. Is that your mom's burner Facebook account?
Thanks, Mom. Appreciate you tuning in.
But we've been doing these Mount Rushmores. I was talking to you guys about it before the broadcast. Chad had weird times when he got hurt. Every time, he went over to Europe to train in Germany, probably would have signed, got injured, came back, and then he always kept getting hurt right when it felt like he was going to get into a camp and establish himself. And then maybe it's a reflection of the way we operate, but like I think they closed the door on him too early, where it was like now Beasler's the guy, Jeff's, Jeff Cameron's in, all that stuff. And around 2014, 15, it felt like Chad's chance had gone, even though he continued to be elite for 3 more years after that.
That happens all the time. That to me, that's happening right now with Ike Parra, to be honest. Like,
he's good.
Yeah,
and it's like, especially with center backs, it's like the youth movement. I understand, but at some point, it's like, all right, let's pick the best. Especially with the national team, it's not always about necessarily building. It's building towards these tournaments that matter, and the right now. So
I like this question.
Happening sometimes where some guys are undervalued or overlooked, and injuries can be a part of it. Ike has injuries as well.
I mean, but Ike, for me, like when you see what he's done last year for Minnesota, he deserved the call up. Like, he's been a best center back last year. He was by far one of the best center backs. And for me, he
There's
deserved
another.
the call.
I mean, Stephen Fry, another guy, similarly, where you're like, how has he not been involved a bigger part? I don't know all the behind the scenes. Sometimes there's other things happening, but
well, Fry, I don't think was American when he got into MLS. I think he only had a Swiss passport at the time. Could be wrong about that.
I don't know. He's a Berkeley guy. I played with Steph. He was a freshman when I was a senior.
Oh, so you just wanted to bring up more Berkeley guys, so you just...
I taught him everything.
It's finding excuses to get them in there. Chad definitely got his opportunity on that one.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, close to the first half. Pod, what's the convo at halftime for the group? Took a lead, gave up a goal.
No, I mean, for us, we actually gave them the goal to come back into the game. I think if we went 2-1 into halftime, I think we would have ended up winning the game.
Kenny?
I mean, it was just so back and forth. And the final score of this game could have been 10-10. The halftime score could have been 8-8. And there's so many chances. I mean, you always hear it's a game of inches, right? And I mean, I think it's less. That ball that went off the post, for you guys is.
And your shot.
There were just so many chances.
Right.
We're looking forward to this second half. We'll get started in just a moment. Don't forget, though, through this COVID-19 pandemic, everyone trying to do what they can to make people's lives a little easier, to keep people healthy. You've got hashtag MLS Unites. That's the players. That's club staff. That's coaching staffs. That's the league all working together to bring you a few things to make your life just a little bit easier right now. This week's Inspiring Kids. So lots of programs, psychological help, different things you can do with your children at home, including current Portland Timber goalkeeper Jeff Attinella, who has his own children's book that he helps you read online. Jeff, double duty here, not just a soccer player. And you can stick to MLSsoccer.com or any of your local clubs' websites to see what each club's doing and what the different opportunities are to get involved. There's now some MLS Adidas training. So if you need a workout at home to try and stay fit, I'm naturally fit, but if you need to a little help with that, you can go and do that as well. And don't forget, we've got more MLS Classic remixes coming next Wednesday, 4 p.m. Eastern time, here on YouTube or Facebook, wherever you're watching. It is San Jose Earthquakes against the LA Galaxy. And yes, we are titling this one Beckham versus the mascot of San Jose, Q. Anyone who hasn't seen that clip, you can jump on at 4 p.m. Eastern time next Wednesday, myself and Matt Doyle with a few former players, and we're going to watch that one back. And like you guys were saying with this rivalry, anytime San Jose and LA steps on the field together, the intensity goes up, the quality goes up. It's always a fun game, so make sure to tune into that one next Wednesday.
I love MLS,
for that.
By the way, Beckham versus Q, that's amazing. And the fact that was a real thing that happened, that David Beckham got into it and drop kicked a volley that hit a mascot that started like an on-field it's brilliant. It's beautiful. I hope I'm on that one.
That's another great rivalry, and I'm just I instantly think of Alan Gordon, Lenny, Wanda. I mean, that's a game where
it's
Goes to
been.
90
I mean,
plus minute, right?
yeah. I hope it's not one that loses steam, especially now that there's El Tráfico and all that. But the California Clasico, I mean, you go back to like the I think 03 or that crazy playoff series, and then later on throughout, every one of those matches has been just incredible.
Crazy, huh?
That was a fiery one.
No.
Well, it helps
And you
when
guys
got
might have
Lenny
some,
and Gordon. Sorry, Pa, continue.
Like, I was the guys in the locker room, Kenny, because I mean that we had some characters in the locker room. Like we will play pranks with people. We will do every sort of things every single day. It was like all pranks that we will pull out on people, cutting people's t-shirt, making people sign on
Look at Clint.
somebody's
Look at
t-shirt.
Clint Oba there.
Oh man, it's unbelievable.
Look at
Those
this.
two, they got a good.
It's amazing.
They're running a
I wanna
training
Can
session
we rewind
right now.
this? This
All right.
was the remix. Can we rewind? That was. I mean, that was just all one touch, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, just coming right out of halftime, just pinging it.
You guys, M. Rayburn here on YouTube says Pa Mudaka's talking trash right now, but Kenny's too nice to talk back, so they need a little more trash talk from Kenny Cooper. That's what the YouTube fans are saying.
Respect. Mutual respect here.
This guy, he didn't celebrate against. He scored a goal in the first minute and didn't celebrate. I mean, he's a man of character. Don't let the YouTube comments bring you down, Kenny. Stay above it.
Welcome to social media.
But if you do want to go after him,
Yeah, but Kenny,
you're more than
the floor is
welcome,
yours,
buddy.
you know.
Hey, just to touch upon our locker room, we had a great group. I mean, some of these guys on this team are, I consider some of my best friends. Michael Azira here, Brad Evans, guys that I still talk with all the time. It's the best part about playing, right? It's what you miss the most, is locker room and the relationships. You can only play the game for so long, but the relationships, keep going. Chad Marshall, another guy. I was connected with Gonzo the other day. There's just a bunch of guys. Stephen Fry was my roommate. I mean, just a bunch of people that I've stayed connected with over the years, and I think, it just was a testament to the camaraderie that we had within the group there. We had awesome leadership, too, with Brad Evans. I mean, that would, going back to who my three first picks, he would definitely be one of the first, and he'd be wearing that captain's armband. Just awesome talent, awesome character, great leadership. His words carried so much weight, and just an awesome leader. But we had a special group. We spent a lot of time with each other. Andy Rose is another guy. He's not on the field at the moment, but Andy. There's a bunch of guys that we've played with together, not at the same time, but just a lot of guys who, we were definitely close. Jaleel, I mean, so many of these guys I've recently spoken with as well, which I think again just shows how close we were.
Pa, who was the leaders in that? Like, who were the ones playing the jokes? Who was the loudest ones in that locker room?
Thank you. Nah, we actually Rodney Wallace. I mean, people who know Rodney, Rodney is a top character, a guy that makes you feel welcome, and him and I will always try to pull pranks on everybody, coming in the morning and just cutting people's socks on, and people, I will just pick somebody
What's the best prank you pulled on a teammate?
Best prank. I think the one that I did on Darlington, because he's so quiet, was he came with a Adidas t-shirt, and then he laid down on the table. He laid in his locker. So when he went, I took the t-shirt and got everybody to sign on it, and then made him sign on it. And I think when he signed it is when he realized, that's my t-shirt. So he signed on his own t-shirt. And he was such a nice guy that he wouldn't say anything. You know what I mean? Because he was like, my big brother did this to me, so I'm not gonna say anything. So. But it was.
Were you always pulling pranks?
All the time.
People try to get you back?
No, they were too afraid.
You always get the last laugh.
Kaz did one of
Caitlin?
the only.
Who was the biggest prankster you ever played with?
I mean, I was always the one getting bullied. I feel like there. Seriously, Blanco. Like I remember one time Blanco tied me to a rolling chair here. Him and Wilmon Conde like, bound my arms and my feet and my mouth and tied me to a rolling chair and pushed me out into the Toyota parking lot. And like the whole front office staff can like see, and they just see like Blanco and Wilmon like pushing me out into the middle of the parking lot. Nobody's around, and they're like, "What is happening down there?" I never got an explanation as to like what I had done, but yeah, stuff like that would happen to me. And then Bobby Boswell used to just like write on my car, just like about like I wear a helmet and stuff like that. I was always getting bullied. It was fun.
Were you a rookie at the time with Blanco?
No, I was like I was a young guy in Chicago, but I was still getting bullied as like a vet. I was like 4 knee surgeries deep, still getting stuff from guys. It was all in good fun though. I miss that stuff now. So yeah, Goss, if you ever want to, just not on this stream, but another time, take your shot.
Kalen, I would never, man. You're a national team player in my eyes, so I would never disrespect you. But I will say this. Pa did one of the only interviews that I've done where we had multiple people on. It was him and Kakuta Mane. And I've never heard anyone give another player such a hard time on an interview. It was like next level stuff, including we brought up being Gambian, and Pa just interrupts the interview. He's not Gambian. He has to earn his Gambian stripes. He's not Gambian, and was coming in so hot. So there you go. So I could only imagine being in his locker room.
No, it's
the locker room. The locker room was. I think, like for me, honestly, that's what I missed. Honestly, I don't miss playing, but I do miss being in the locker room daily, just having the banter, and just having the banters with the guy, like. And with us, like the year that I say it was so obvious. Everybody was tight, the banter went around, everybody could get it. So nobody was immune to it, So that was a great thing. But some of the stuff that I actually like also, honestly, with this rivalry is that as much as we didn't actually like each other on the pitch, the mutual respect we had for each other off the pitch was big. I mean, the trash talking that went on, like between Clint, myself, Oba, Alonso, everybody. But when it was all said and done, it was after the game, shake hands and that's it. But
I think the one thing that
is there anyone that isn't in that? Was there anyone that you actually did dislike?
Always.
Honestly, I didn't like Alonso to start with. I didn't. Harrington.
But you grew to like him?
No, I respect his game a lot, and I respect him as a man after I knew his story. But for me, once he started kicking Darlington, it was like he was kicking my little brother, and that's a fight. And every time he was on Darlington, that was a fight. But afterwards, you kind of get to know him and you get his story, and then you kind of also realize, okay, this guy is real. Since then,
Sherrod kicked some people too. You're talking like Seattle's the only team that that kicks anybody, but.
No, we tried to play football. I don't know what Seattle was doing, but we tried to play football. No, but Chara, no. But to be honest, one of the first things for me, what I did in my first training session with Portland is, and I will never forget it. We were playing Rondo, and I just clipped Chara off, and it was like everybody just stopped. Everybody was like, "Did he just do that?" That kind of feeling like, did he just clip Chara? But for me, I didn't think any of it, but you could just tell the face of the people. But no, Chara will kick. Yeah, Chara kick people. There you go, buddy.
Great finish.
There it is.
Feeling it.
Didn't just kick people, also did that.
I'm telling you, man. And if I'm not mistakenly, I think that was his birthday.
Really?
I think this game was in his birthday when he scored 2. It was a great play. Like that's what I mean. He also had this underrated thing that he could do some of this stuff. It was unbelievable. I mean,
You are correct, Pa. It was his birthday.
it was his birthday, right?
That's a good friend right there. That's a good teammate. Pa.
After he clipped him,
Unbelievable.
Kalen, he had to give him nice birthday gifts every year to keep him nice.
Hey, that's a
To
heat
get back
check
into the
too.
good graces.
That's
No,
a heat
but
check. You
seriously.
score one, you get the first one, then you everyone backs off, and you're just like,
Yeah.
I don't know what that feels like, but man.
No, it was.
But you don't see, he's not known for scoring goals like that. Like he doesn't pull up.
No. But
Did he do it
he's
in
so
training?
Quiet. No. Chara would hardly even do shooting practice, but he will do football tennis. He did love football tennis though. He did
Ricardo
football
Clark
tennis
was
and
exactly like that too. He would never hop into finishing drills, but then in a game he'd score from like 30 out. He'd be like,
Oh, what a finish! What a finish!
Unbelievable.
I mean,
How much
the
time
dance
was that in
celebration
between?
is
Was that
something
even a
else.
full minute?
No, it was like a minute and a half.
damn.
That's how you dream of finishing that chance.
How
This
many
game
players
comes
think
in
of
waves.
whipping
Like
that too?
it's like you get a goal and then you think you got a second to talk about it. And next thing you know, it's like,
Yeah.
Oh,
It was officially 95 seconds between the two.
but did you see who gave away the ball?
Kenny.
Did you see who gave away the ball?
Give me your analysis. Does the ball lie
I
on
was
the
about to
other
do a
side?
tactical coaching session on this video.
Here we
I
go.
mean-
Break it down.
I mean, I just saw somebody play the ball in, and he didn't see what he just. He just laid it up and ran away like like some strikers does. And
Yeah, I don't know if I even saw him in that play.
Pa, I hate to warn you, but there's a couple more goals left in this one. You might want to be careful.
Kaden,
oh, buddy, I know.
you're my strike
was
partner
crazy.
today. Kaden, you're my strike partner.
I'm trying to help you
David.
out, man.
Help me out, David. Come on, David.
Ah,
Don't
I'm
let
with
the
you, man.
defenders hang in. All right, good.
All day.
Kenny,
all
did they
day.
give you
I
a
got
log for that one?
No, not for that one.
Nah, I mean, it was still 30 minutes to go, man, and I can still not believe how we conceded the 2 goals. Seriously, I think afterwards we just got too relaxed. We thought we had it in the bag.
I mean, you did.
Nah, really.
There's still a lot of time left, though.
No, too
30 minutes. 30 minutes.
Huh.
Unbelievable.
Especially in this
In
series.
2013, in the playoffs, you guys went up 3-0 at home, and then Seattle scored 2 late as well. It was sort of not the same situation because it was the playoffs, but it was a similar scenario.
Oh, it was. And, whenever you go against team and, like the quality that Seattle holds, it's not over until it's over. So, and I think for us in this game, actually going 4-2 up, and like I said, we started the season poorly by both our 2 home games. We tied it, so we were not. We didn't close the game out. Like we were not professional enough to close the game out in this game, to be honest. And I think Seattle with Dempsey and Oba and obviously Kenny, like they knew that if they got a chance, they will score. So and that's what you have with quality players. You can never take a minute off, and we did, and we paid for the price.
Kenny, Lars Gunther on Facebook wants to know in a dead sprint, who's faster, DeAndre Yedlin or Obafemi Martins?
Oh,
Pa can answer as well. Kalen can. I mean, you guys were on the
yeah,
field. with
good
them.
question. I think I'd take DeAndre. He might be the quickest I've ever played with.
Quicker than
We have
Wayne, Marvin Wayne.
Hey, DeAndre might. I think of all the players I play with, I think maybe the quickest. We haven't really talked about him very much here, but I mean, is he 18 years old? I think he may have been only 18, but he was
He's
like
19,
He was
I
like a
think.
seasoned pro. I mean,
Yeah.
I was blown away by this kid, and he's obviously gone on and has had such an impressive career. This is the summer that he went to the World Cup. but nothing surprised me with him. He was just like, he was just so confident, so quick. He just added such a, an attacking dimension to defense.
But I remember it was a bit of a shock when Jurgen brought him to the World Cup. I remember people were saying, "Oh yeah, he's a young player, homegrown player for Seattle." But I guess for you, seeing him throughout.
Yeah, just seeing him on a daily basis. Yeah, I mean, he was amazing, and I'm not sure I've ever seen quickness like that. I mean, he was just so fast, so quick, so good on the ball. So dependable in the back, but would also give you such a threat going forward as well.
He also, one of the things I was impressed with was, if you remember, he came out of college as a homegrown, wasn't supposed to be the starter, and Ziggy hadn't signed anyone in 2013.
Yeah, Akron
kid
boy.
as well. Yeah, 1 year. And he scored against Tigres in that epic CCL series when he hadn't played pro soccer yet, and that kind of convinced Ziggy that we don't need to go get a right back because he kept talking about it that whole offseason. And similar to the World Cup thing, it was you threw him in situations and he just figured it out, and his career progressed so quickly.
Yeah, well, I think it was the Belgium game, right, where he came off the bench and just made such an incredible impact.
And man-marked Hazard.
Yeah,
he is phenomenal.
No, it just goes to show if you give somebody a chance early, they can run with it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Kaylin, Eddie Smith on Facebook wants to know, who's your favorite villain in Cascadia Cup history?
Favorite villain? I mean, my favorite character, period, is Roger Levesque. I mean, he's one of my favorite just people. I love the way he riles up Portland, even in the fans, the celebrations, him and Nate Jakewood chopping down the tree. Roger to me is like a cult MLS icon hero. He was a villain to me because I played against him. We keep going back to it growing up, but I think Raj is my plus, I did an interview with him in Seattle and about the Sounders, and he showed up to the bar wearing an astronaut helmet and a full astronaut suit and light up shoes for the movement show. I didn't tell him to dress up or anything. I just was hey, can you come through for an interview? And that's how he rolls. So shout out to the legend Raj.
Kenny, do either of you have answers on that? Favorite villains?
Favorite villains? Ooh.
Between the two of you, you've played for all three Cascadia Cup teams. There are few people we can get in a room that can cover that.
Yeah, oh gosh.
Oof.
Oh no.
I think Clint.
Yeah, it might be Clint.
Yeah.
Especially after this game.
After this game was Clint. I think Clint was not what
He
and I don't know if
Well,
any
from a
of
Portland perspective, a lot of people may say Clint after this one.
For sure.
For me, I think it was the biggest Clint. It was.
He also tore a
United?
notebook up of a referee in the
Yeah,
Open Cup game.
yeah. Yes.
That sort of takes
And,
you over the line.
I think honestly the three biggest, maybe like Karen says, for me at least is Chara, Alonso, and Clint.
I think a lot of people would agree with you.
I wonder who scored the most goals in this rivalry. It might be Valeri.
No, I think it's Clint.
Kenny. You should have sent me some of these
questions
before.
for you, David.
So
Sorry. I'll text them to you on the side. Wow. I mean,
Man, I mean, this game was looking back at this game. I haven't looked at the back until you guys show this game. Serious. This was really, I think, like Kenny said, a 10-10 game. It's like playing FIFA.
Did that cross the line?
Hey, it was a
What
goal.
did you tell us?
It was a goal, man. It was if we had VAR, it was a goal.
Here we go again.
Look,
Let's take a look. Here's
they
your
got lucky. I
VAR.
told you.
It comes down.
It's a
Did
goal,
Yedlin
man.
touch that?
It
Yeah.
hits Yedlin.
ah,
Did
no,
Yedlin
It's a
touch that?
goal.
no way.
He touched
It
it.
hits Yedlin.
It's unbelievable.
Look, it's a goal.
touched
He's
Look at that
that.
inside.
defending.
Hey,
Yedlin.
that's an amazing play.
It's a great save, but it's a goal.
Kyle says doesn't know anything about it. Come on, give him some credit there. Martino on call. It's a great spot.
Kalen, if you remember, this is when Kyle was down at the ice. He was standing on the field being color commentator.
That's
between the boards or whatever they call it for hockey.
I didn't see who the bench was for this game, but just
we had
the squad that we had. We had Chad Barrett, Marco Papa, Cam Weaver. Cam, you played with Cam in Houston,
and
right?
Chad.
I mean,
Yep.
we just had
And
so
Papa.
much attacking talent. Not even in this game. At this
Lamar
moment.
Nagel
I think
just
Papa
came off
may
the
come
bench.
in. Lamar
Nagel
I
is a
mean,
player I rate highly. I think
he had like
great.
9 goals this season.
Yeah, he was amazing.
We had so many goal scorers. Marco Papa had some absolutely amazing moments for us that season, and especially at the end of the season too. But there were just so many attacking options that we had. Chad Barrett again. I mean, guys who've scored so many goals and have had such great histories in this league. And that's why, like I said at the start, towards the end of the season, I wasn't sure I'd even be in the squad for this team. And there were just so many options to choose from.
You had an interesting group on the bench because this was the year Gaston Fernandez, there were some expectations around him, Picon as well, right?
Yeah, Freddie Piquion. We had Gata Fernandez, Captain Jack, like I like to call him, Captain Jack. So Benny Zemansky. So we did have some. We also had some depth on there. So
Here goes Lonzo.
yes, you see,
Yeah.
you see what I tell you, man. You see, we are playing football. They're just kicking around. Not even trying to play football.
Does the term porter ball mean anything to you?
Porter ball? Oh, 2013.
Yeah. Was that a real thing that was ever discussed, or was that just fans and media?
No, for us, no. But we knew what we had, and credit to Caleb, he actually brought proper football. Like he was so determined of a certain way that he wanted to play, and the type of players he wanted to play, so in his system. So I think all the players that he brought was players with quality who could handle the ball. So I think, honestly, even though he will not say it, but I do think he liked it that the media gave him porter ball.
He always complained about it.
Nah, he liked it. Come on.
Good. Next time I see him, I'm going to tell him Pa told me he liked it.
Tell him. Oh, he liked it. He would not say it, but I do believe that he liked it. I think, and I think, like, what was it? Was it 2014 that we had the MLS All-Star, right? And we had Bayern Munich. I think that one, when Guardiola was mad and not shaking his hand, I think that was a low point for him, to be honest, because he looked up to Guardiola so much. And I remember the day after we all went to training, and I did it to him, and I know that deep down he didn't. He laughed it off, but he didn't like it.
You did it to him?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Did you really?
Yes, I did. And
Hey,
like,
you must have
deep
been
down,
feeling
like,
good about your spot in the team at that moment.
Yeah.
Oh no, but he knew me. Like it was like, as soon as he did it, he knew, like, it was. That was just who I was. Like, if I
You
see
did it in
some
front of the
stuff-
other players? You did it in front of
Oh
other
yeah.
people?
Yeah,
Oh,
when we went out for training.
You're a true prankster. You just don't know where to draw the line, do you?
Nah. You're not safe around me, buddy. You're not safe around me. Nobody's safe. I mean, because we were in the locker room, and honestly, we were like laughing about it, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do it in the training, and the boys were like, are you sure? I'm like, boys, I don't care. I'm just gonna do it. And he laughed it off, but I think deep down he was pissed. I could tell because you all know when somebody's pissed, but he's like, you know what? Okay, I cannot show it because then I will look like I can't take a joke. But
Yeah.
Oh man,
That's
the
amazing.
most embarrassing moment in your coach's life at that point, and you're
Oh,
just gonna
come on.
do it in training.
it all happens to the best of us.
Yeah.
No, I honestly think that those types of, I don't know about with the manager, I don't know if I can pull that off, but I think that type of thing is like, it's the sign of a good team, really, that you have that
Oh yeah.
going on, because it means that, I mean, the margins in MLS, and this match is a perfect example, it's pretty small, right? Like every game, but if you have that sense of kind of like, I don't know, that banter and that belief amongst each other. It's those split-second decisions where you cover for somebody. You're not thinking about it. It's just a good. They say like if the manager's not talking about you, you're in trouble. If you're in a locker room where there's no banter and everyone's just like serious and nobody's causing anybody any problems or there's no arguments, that's where you really got to get worried.
Yeah, 100%. No, I agree. And we had plenty of that, to be honest. Like, and
Sounds like it.
I mean, nobody was safe when it comes to the banter, but also being a teammate and really standing up for each other. It was there. It was like you knew that if a fight broke out, like everybody's jumping in. You know?
Is it like that all over the world? Because you're from Norway, you played in the Middle East, you played in the Netherlands, MLS, multiple countries. Was the environments always like that? Is that what you came up through in Norway?
Like you always come up in a different environment, and it's always special when you can have it. And to be fair, and both Kellen and Kenny can say it, it's not always that you will find that environment. It's very rare that you will get that environment where you have all the guys clicking and being together and having fun and doing all of that. So, like, I've been fortunate to have a couple of those, but it's not something that should be taken for granted. Like I said, because even now, when we go back and speak to some of the players, they will always mention the 2013 because just of the great feeling and being a teammate and on and off the pitch, So it was just not coming to training and just training done, everybody go their separate ways. It was like let's take Footy Danso and Donovan Ricketts and myself. We were like basically inseparable. Like we were all three. Every single day you will find us. And my wife will cook food. They will come to the house, eat. Rodney Wallace, and our wives and everybody clicked. So it was just a big family, honestly. Look at that. Oh.
Yeah, just there's no substitute for having a good culture.
No,
and I
man.
think, every team may feel a little bit different, but I've been the new guy on a team many times, and those little things like you said, having dinner with a teammate or someone inviting you over, those moments off the field have such a big impact on the field, and for the camaraderie, the competitiveness, wanting to fight for each other.
Oh yeah.
And give me a less talented, team, with a good culture that wants to fight for each other over one that, a more talented team that doesn't have that. Give me the one with the good culture any day. It's an easy one.
How do you build it in your group now as a coach?
I mean, like for me, I kind of take lessons from my own experience, but also from the coaches that I've had and see how they try to build a chemistry amongst a group. And for me, the most important thing is, like the character of the person first. Because for me, I look at the character of the person. Does he fit in to our club's motto, And then after, I will look at his skill set. Because at times we do forget that the players also are human, that they have a life, But character for me, character, attitude, and mentality. Those are the things that I look in. And, you just kind of have to be honest with the players, because even though the players will not always like his coach, but I feel like when you're honest is when they respect you the most as well.
Kenny, Kalen, you ready to come out of retirement, go play for Pop?
You know it.
Kenny and I are playing together every once in a while in men's leagues in New York.
We have. Oh, man.
Brother Joe.
That's right.
Hey, Kenny, I wanted
Kalen,
to
it took
ask
you 75 minutes to get the Bowery.
I know,
League
they
brought
told
up.
me to hold off on the men's league stories, but
I
Look.
teed it up for you, too, when I said this game was like a 7-aside.
I know.
I teed it up for you
listen,
to start talking
they've,
about it.
I've had to have many talks with our producers about not talking about my men's league, so...
So
I'm like, oh, Kenny's on. So
Sorry,
I actually thought they were going to show one of our matches, but
I wish, man.
Kenny,
So we can
I
do
do,
a.
Very proud. I love it.
I do want to ask you though, because I mean we've known each other a while, but I've never really
Yeah.
asked you about those early days. And how old were you when you signed at Man United? Because there's not a lot of guys I know that obviously have been at a club like that. But what was
Yeah,
that experience
so-
like?
Real
It
quick,
was-
Kalen, did you miss though before? You're talking to two people who are at Man U.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah. So you guys take me through that experience. How did that? Because you guys were just figured that out yourselves.
Yeah, I never realized that he was there. We must have just missed each other. I signed for the club in 2000. I think it was 2003. Year I graduated from high school, and at the time I was committed to go to SMU. So I grew up here in Dallas, where I am now, and committed to go to SMU. And I was the biggest homebody mama's boy you ever met. So that was just perfect for me. 15 minutes down the road. They had a great school, great program. Shellis had been there for like 30 years. I was so excited. And my team qualified to play in the Super Group of Dallas Cup. And we played against Benfica. I ended up training with them before they left town, and I had an opportunity to go train with them in the summer. And what I think might have happened is, so my father had played with Jim Ryan, who was the youth director at United at the time, and they had I think some mutual friends who I think may have shared with him that I was going over to Benfica. And so I ended up having the opportunity that summer to go to both clubs, Benfica and United, and I went to Man United first to train, and spent about 2 weeks there, and by the grace of God was offered a contract. And I came home that summer, and again, I was a huge homebody mama's boy. It was a really tough decision for me. It was completely a dream come true, but I wasn't planning on it at the time. But moved abroad, and it was just the best experience. I mean, for me, those were my college years. 18 to like 21, and just what an unbelievable education to be around guys like Ryan Giggs, Ruud van Nistelrooy, Paul Scholes, Roy Keane. I was in their reserve setup, but what's amazing at Man United is that they really integrate the younger players and the first-team players in a way that you're just around them all the time, in the cafeteria, in the gym. And so just having the exposure to their professionalism, their quality it was such an education for me. And I felt like I was able to take so many values and things I learned from my time there into my MLS career, because I ended up coming back to Dallas and starting my MLS career with FC Dallas. But it was just an unbelievable. I mean, I could just talk on and on and on about the club. I'm such a big fan. And what's amazing, I was saying this yesterday, what's amazing about Man United, probably, I'm sure you had the same experience, but it's such a huge club, globally supported, but it's a family atmosphere, and it's amazing. I was saying as well that the receptionist at the front desk at the training ground has been there for like over 50 years, and there's a lot of people there, who have been there for a long time, and I just love my time there. I'll forever be a fan of the club too. Just sorry I missed Pa being there.
Oh, buddy, yeah, but it was what? Yeah, we were 2 years apart, because I came just right after they won the treble, and like yourself, it was huge. I mean, I'm a Liverpool fan and a supporter,
Oh, no.
so
You didn't tell them that, did you?
Sir Alex asked me to be honest, and I couldn't lie. To be honest, I could not lie. But yeah, but to be honest, he took me in Bobby Charlton. Like, you get to meet all these legends and train with Paul Scholes. I mean, I tell this to people. Paul Scholes is the best player I've ever played with. For me, Paul Scholes was the best player I've ever played with. But like, you had Teddy Sheringham, and I got done so many times in training. I was unbelievable. Dwight York, Solskjaer. So for me, it was the best learning point ever as a center back to go against this. So that's why after I was not faced, I was never faced again playing any of these strikers, because luckily nobody has it on video. But yeah, a couple of times I really was done in training, was unbelievable. And playing with David May. You remember David May?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, David May, it was unbelievable to me. Like, he gave me so many wisdom, and I was talking. I think that one of the few times I was truly felt fear in the game was when I was walking in the corridor, and I happened to meet Yap Stam. Yeah. And I said good morning, and he just walked past. And I'm like, wow. He just walked past me. I was like, wow. So, no, but like you said, the family affair and everything around United was so huge at the time, and like, it was a privilege just to be able to be there. It was,
absolutely.
It's something that I always cherish for the rest of my life, and it is.
And as well, just to experience the presence of Sir Alex Ferguson is amazing. I'll share a story with you. So when I became a free agent, like 2015, I reached out to him seeking some career guidance, and he called me back like the next day, and it had been years since I had been at the club, but he made you feel like he remembered you, that and just his acknowledgement. We didn't spend a lot of time on the phone, but just simply his acknowledgement to take a minute to, make the phone call was so impactful in my life, and, really showed me just what doing something like that, can do for someone. It was so powerful, but it's just such a testament to just what a great man he is. And so to be able to be around him, just to see the way that he is was such an incredible privilege.
Kalen, if you want to hear about my time in Man U, we can do that. Playing with Sir Alex.
Don't get me started.
He used to kick my ankles.
That's incredible.
It was a pain playing there.
I mean,
that's why I left. That's why I went to Real Madrid.
Now that we were watching this game, I was like, I'm looking at the time. I remember I was looking at the time, and I'm like, all right, we got 7 to 8 minutes to ride this out. There's no possible way that these people are gonna score 2 goals. I'm like, there's no chance. Like, we have to do everything we can to slow the game and ride out the time. And I just remember telling everybody that was around me, play it out, take them as time as you can. But yeah, I still can't believe it.
Hey, Pa, can we talk about Sam Uni real quick, kit manager?
Oh, buddy, he's the best.
In the game.
He's Kenny, how are you?
One of my favorites. One of my favorites.
No, he was Sam. Anything you could ask Sam, he would do it. It was like anything. He was just open.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And I mean, and that's what builds culture, like you say. Having these people still there.
Exactly.
Just so nice, so helpful. And see, there was Zakwani. Zakwani was on the bench in this game. And Jack, and I was thinking, like, is Caleb gonna bring him in? And I think he would have truly done something. But yeah.
Well, they took off Rudy and Nagby here, right? So that definitely changes the outlook of things, especially from a possession standpoint, and then just like a work rate standpoint as well.
Yeah, 100%. Because I tell you, Maxi, look at this one.
Great. Look at that. Hey, so, you know, just going back to something we were talking about, you know, we were talking about Chad Marshall and the national team, right? And a question I love, you know, just related to that, I guess, is like, you know, who would you want, you know, on the field in big moments? And so, like, right here, you know, it's 4-3 now. I mean, I'm not, you know, at the top of my list for, like, who I'd want on the field to score a goal or to defend one would be the guys that, you know, we had in our squad. Chad Marshall in the back. I mean, I'm not sure there's someone I'd have more confidence in, you know, in the entire league, you know, ever, you know, to be playing in the back there to keep another goal from going in. And then as we're trying to get more, we have Clinton Oba. I'm out of the game at this point, but, you know, it's just so many guys on the field that you just have so much confidence in to score.
Oh, buddy, I mean,
on the other side.
There's that speed right there, by the way.
Yeah, right.
And I mean, it's just Benny, and Benny just came in. That's why sometimes coming into some games like these games, it's tough, man. It's tough.
Sure.
You try to catch the pace against that guy.
Oh, it's impossible.
He should know though. So 2 Akron guys, right?
Well,
exactly.
The whole field is Akron, Kalen.
But you got to know that. You got to know who's creeping up behind you, and maybe just sit this one out.
No,
it's tough
100%.
You're in the box, but
100%. And for me, it was
remember
like
what way
Watching
he
this
goes
game
here,
on
Tom?
TV.
Huh?
You remember what way he goes here?
Yeah, I think he goes to his left.
There you go.
He went to his left. Bro, I still have nightmares about this game. I'm telling you, I still have nightmares about this game. He scored 3 goals. A striker that scores 3 goals for me is a nightmare for me against me. There's nothing I could say. And like, to be fair, the year before, we had a lot of trash talking. I was really giving him stick. But I don't know if it's really on this game, but after this game, I think him and I swapped shirts. And for me, it was perfect because, I mean, I just told him, I'm like, big man, well done. It's like incredible. He truly showed his class. Yeah, he truly showed his class after this game, and I think that helped him like establish himself after the first year.
Yeah,
I mean,
and again, it was early in the season. That's what you
Yeah.
dream of as a striker, getting those goals early on. There's nothing like it as a striker than
He
to
was
start
coming
the
off a
season with a couple
suspension in
goals.
this game.
Yeah, it was coming off
for him.
suspension.
Yeah. So this was like his first game of the season, basically.
And, you know, too, we haven't talked about this a lot, but they're showing them right there. You know, 2 amazing soccer minds and people, and Ziggy and Caleb. I mean, incredibly successful. What a privilege and honor to play for Ziggy. God bless him.
How was he?
He was amazing. I mean, he really, really was. He just someone I have, you know, so much respect for, and you know, and I can say that too. You know, obviously, you know, after a season where, you know, I didn't start every game there in Seattle, but you know, he's regardless of that, whatever like my playing situation was, he's just someone that, you know, that I just respect so much, and he's been so successful. Just, I think the team that we had is such a testament to him, and you know, the staff and Chris Henderson too. Just the squad that they were able to put together, and you know, I mean, Ziggy was amazing. He really was.
That's one of the things
I
you
love
see.
the training sessions, the group, just, you know, all those things that, you know, away from the actual like games on the weekends, just the locker room, the group that was put together, I think is such a testament to him too.
Yeah, Sig's a legend. He brought me and Kai Kamara in when we were in college playing Blue Star, Orange County Blue Star. We had Brad Evans, Robbie Rogers, Sasha Kleshton, we had Danny Kennedy. We had a sick team. But he let Kai and I come in and train with the Galaxy teams when he was down there, and like
That's awesome.
sat with us after training and talked to us and gave us some advice
Great
early
man.
on. So
Great man.
always-
So hey, before our first game with Seattle, in Seattle, I'll never forget. We were getting ready for the game, like in the group huddle, and he's like, "Hey Kenny, I think he was telling me Shellis, who was my coach here before, who I think was a good friend of his. He's like, hey, Shellis wishes you the best. And just for him to think about that in that moment, just to like kind of pull me aside and just share that with me. He was awesome, man. He was awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think he liked me that much when I was playing, but after that I actually became a coach, and I also got opportunity on the combine, like to have a chat with him. I mean, he was so supportive. Like he was so supportive towards me, but
he's awesome. I had so much respect for him, still do.
Yeah.
And God bless him.
You guys,
Oh man,
4-4 at this point. Is
this
anyone
has
thinking
5
a winner?
minutes of extra time here.
oh yeah, it was no. I think
I'm surprised there wasn't 2 more goals or 3 more goals.
I mean, I'm telling you, man. I think.
Oh,
Oh, lucky there.
Pa, you got to keep hold of him.
I
tell
know.
him, Gus.
Well, that's right. That's
You guys are
right.
sitting a little deep there.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, we were deep. We were deep at the end. Oh, if you,
How much of this was
that would have been
you-
a icebreaker.
How much of this was you not really knowing Paparato's game as well at the time and being a
No, yeah. I mean, like I said, the year prior, like it was our back five was Donovan Ricketts, Jack Dewsbury, Footy Danso, myself, and Mikey Harrington. So we knew each other's game, and obviously, like I said, anytime you bring a new player, and he doesn't speak English, I was not much of a Spanish speaking guy, so the language barrier
you only
was
spoke
always.
six languages at the time? That's so bad.
Yeah, and Spanish was the only one that I didn't actually concentrate on, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, it's always difficult for him, you know. It's always, especially being a center back, it's not easy because you need that trust, you know, and that trust that we had the year prior was there. So you don't need to look at each other's shoulder. Everybody spoke the same language, and me and Footy could obviously speak our native language. So also that kind of helped, you know. And Jack and Michael, they learned a thing or two of the Wolof language as well, so that kind of helped. But yeah, but
Wait, Jack
that does
Dewsbury
play a
learned
part.
some Wolof?
Yeah, he learned. We made him learn. Hey, that's why they called us the Great Wall of Gambia, man.
Jack
That's
was in
where
that.
we got
though.
the
I didn't
name.
know Jack was a part of that.
Oh, Jack was part and Mikey Harrington was part, man. It was like the Oreo cookies, buddy. Come on, man. We had fun.
That's
We
the
enjoyed
reverse
ourselves.
Oreo, though.
Yeah, that was the reverse Oreo.
Side. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was the nice sandwich Oreo. You had the big man, Donovan Ricketts at the back.
Double stuff.
But oh man, it was, I mean that crew, it was like, the 5 of us, we basically went into game like with the mindset of, we knew that our front players, they could score anytime. So the only mindset we had is keep a clean sheet. By any cost, keep a clean sheet and they're going to score. So that's why you saw we won some games 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, and that played a
Hey, by
part
the way,
this year.
How far could Donovan kick the ball?
Oh man,
You think has he ever kicked it past the other goal? I mean,
One
he
time.
could just smash the ball, right?
one time he did it for me because I was pissing him off. I'm like, kick the ball, man. He's like, all right. He took it and just smashed it.
He could
But
smash it, yeah.
what a legend. And for me, I'm like, the saves that he made at times, I was like, there was a couple of times he bailed us out. I'm like, wow. It was like,
Gonzalo
He was
Pineda's been
back-to-back
hit like
best
10 times
11s.
in this game, by the way.
yeah. Because nobody liked him.
He was getting bullied in this one.
He was getting
This
sniped.
is the 5th time. Somebody help me out.
Oh, Freddie
See the
cut
arm.
him.
Oh, that arm comes up.
Oh wow!
No,
VAR would have got him there for sure.
no chance.
Oh, yeah. There's no
No,
way.
I mean, it's like we're still playing in the 94th minute, and both teams are looking for the winner, and then you just know how much it meant. It just how much it meant for the game. Like, I mean,
I'm still waiting
This-
for a goal. I know the score. I played the game. I'm still,
It
I'm still
feels like
expecting
there's
the
one
goal.
coming.
Yeah.
I
It's
mean,
hard to
We had
believe
a
that
great-
there weren't more, honestly.
oh,
We had a great
Yeah, one more
comment
time.
earlier in the game from Demon Juice, who said, if I just turn it off, will the score stay the same? Because at the time it was 4-2 Portland.
Oh! Wow.
Somehow,
What the game?
it only ends 4-4. Somehow.
That
Exactly.
was a great game.
It was incredible.
I'm sorry we had to trigger you by bringing you back. But what's the feeling rewatching the game? What's the mindset right now in 2020?
I mean, in 2020, it's actually that when you go back and you just realize what a great game it was. What a game of football that was from both sides. You know, attacking. None of us were thinking playing for draw, and I think it's one of the greatest draw I ever played in. To be honest, you know, it was because it was from the get-go. You know, Kenny scores after 2 minutes, and then within the first 15 minutes, it's like, what, 4 goals already? So you kind of like, all right, okay, it's going to be one of those games. And then, 5 minutes to go, and then all of a sudden, Dempsey magic happened. So, but again, they were lucky.
I mean,
Kenny?
like you do when you're a player, you're thinking of the next game. I'm thinking of another game we played that year in U.S. Open Cup where we went to penalties, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, we had some epic battles. It was so evenly matched.
Yeah.
But so many goals, a lot of excitement, and again, and that's just such a privilege to be a part of that rivalry. And I was fortunate to experience it on both sides and playing a number of them. But that's definitely a highlight for sure.
Kenny, what do you have behind you on the wall? Is that a little Portland Timbers love?
Yeah, here it is. The skateboard here. I have a Portland is well represented here at our house. We have one of the bridges here. Got the skateboard I showed you. It's all the towns. We loved our time there, man. We loved our time in Portland and Seattle. But the Pacific Northwest is such a special place, and I hope somehow we can get back there and spend more time up there. The soccer there is just.
We do need a striker, you know.
Amazing.
A striker. So I'm just saying. Whenever the season is back, I don't know if you wanna take half a season.
I'll send you a highlight video.
Oh no!
I think we just watched it.
Yeah, we just did. So that was my scouting trip. I scouted everything I need to know. So
Hey, look,
MLS
he's
Classics
comfortable. He'll play
remix.
on the wing. He'll play up top. He can work
Get
well.
Kayla
with
and I
the
up top
strikers.
together.
I mean,
MLS
They
Classics
didn't show
remix
they didn't show our
history.
men's
Pa
league, but
Modoka making
Kenny and I
signings
make a
in the
good
middle
pair.
of the show.
oh man, you have to do
Galen
something,
Carr.
David. Come on.
Hey, listen, Pa, I'm there. I'm your assistant coach. I'm ready to go. Next Wednesday, we'll do it again. We've got San Jose Earthquakes versus LA Galaxy from 2012. And, of course, David Beckham involved in that one alongside a certain mascot from San Jose. It'll be 4 p.m. Eastern time. Myself, Matt Doyle, and a few guests on Facebook, on YouTube. But, you guys, this isn't the easiest time for anyone. But we appreciate you guys being here and helping us take our minds off things just a little bit. This has been as much fun as I've had since I've been stuck inside. My girlfriend's not super happy. She has to be in the bedroom right now, but she'll come out. We'll rewatch it after this. But you guys you're all legends, Kaylin, obviously, but Kenny and Pa, thanks for taking the time. Thanks for everything you did for this league, helping grow this game, and both of you coaching now, continuing to pass that along. It's great to hear. It's great to hear from you. And to all our fans, thanks for being out there. Thanks for watching. Thanks for following. We'll be back with MLS Classics Remix. You can go watch Pacific. You can hit up Kenny on Twitter and everything else and tell him what of his 75 goals are your favorite in MLS history. Help lift his day a little bit more. And stick to MLSsoccer.com for all your soccer news. On that note, have a great weekend. Enjoy your happy hour, and good night, everyone.
Thanks, fellas.
Thanks for having us.